Hey everybody, it's Mandy from Travel Forge. So it's Saturday here. Typically on Saturday or Sunday, kind of depending on the weather, depending what's going on. So depending on the weather, what we have going on, what orders we need to do, etc. I don't really meal prep. It's not really my thing. But what I do try to do is make sure that I have a tray of thawed meat, maybe a tray of like veggies that are ready to go, depending on the season or whatever. So a few things going on today. I have a lot of people ask me, like, you know, we are a family of 6, soon a family of 7. And a lot of people are surprised that I don't meal plan, just because like we keep a pretty meticulous pantry. Well, meticulous isn't the right word. Stocked pantry. You know, our short-term pantry is well stocked. Our long-term pantry is well stocked. And I'll post videos of both those pantries if you're interested to see what they look like. Short-term pantry is right off of, here we go, right off of the kitchen. Our long-term pantry is out through past the living room. So what I'm doing this morning is I had some chicken thighs. What did I do with them? I had some chicken thighs thawed from the chickens that we butchered maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. So I have my 10-quart Instant Pot ready. I'm going to get those in there, and they're just basically going to sit there until we're ready for dinner. When we're ready to eat, we'll pull them out, we'll put them under the broiler, maybe baste them with a little like homemade barbecue sauce or whatever. And then I have corn, carrots. I think I have corn and carrots. So we'll do that with dinner. That'll be delicious. The other thing I try to do on the weekends is I try to make bread for the week. So I try to get bread ready for the week. So normally what I'll do is I'll try to make sure we have at least 3 loaves of like normal bread. So I'll do like 2 loaves of plain and like a cinnamon, or like a loaf of plain, a loaf of like jalapeno cheddar, and a loaf of cinnamon, or something like that. So we have a nice variety of bread. By the end of the week, I mean, they're starting to get like a little hard, but you toast them up and they're just fine. We can make them into croutons if they're just kind of beyond or whatever. I've never had trouble with our bread getting like stale early or like molding or anything like that. While I am anti-plastic, this is like the best thing I found to keep bread in. It keeps it from like building up condensation. If it gets warm in here, it keeps it from molding, all that kind of stuff. So it works. I mean, we've pretty much ditched all plastic, but that works really well for this. So we're gonna get the chicken in, and then I want to show you what I pulled from the pantry to sort of set myself up, at least for the beginning of the week, so that we have things thawed and we're not scrambling to try to get stuff together for meals. All right, so I pulled this stuff from the pantry and these from the pantry. So I don't necessarily need to pull mason jars from the pantry, but it really helps just sort of like keep things front of mind. I can rotate in the things that have been sitting there for a while. So over here I have ingredients to do chili, because we'll probably do chili here early in the week or something. I like to make a big pot of chili, and then we can have it. The kids are gonna laugh. So when Zad was a kid, his parents or his mom made this huge pot of clam chowder, and so whenever I think I've talked about this before. Whenever we're having something that I make and it lasts like 3 or 4 days, we always call it clam chowder, even if it's not clam chowder. So I'll usually make like the 10-quart Instant Pot's worth of chili, and then we'll have it for a few meals. We can repurpose it with nachos, whatever we need to do. So I have salsa verde, apple pepper relish, some salsa, some pickled peppers, beans, some broth. All those things can be used to go in chili. I pulled a few fruits, so I have plums and sweet cherries here. There's a can of carrot soup, which could be used as a side with the bread that we're gonna make. I have stewed tomatoes sitting here, which we might put those, I don't know, we might do something with the chicken tonight, or I don't know, I gotta figure out something to do with those. And I have pizza sauce because I found a new pizza dough recipe that I want to try. So we're going to try to do pizza maybe an evening early this week. All right, so the rest of the stuff I have here is I have another bag of corn. There's already one in the fridge that's thawed. We usually do corn. I try to only do corn every other year. So we'll usually do like 100-quart bags of corn or something like that, which we don't eat corn a ton. So that gives us like a bag of corn every other week. Now, we only had 4 eaters when I did corn last time. So I may need to double those efforts, because now we have 6 eaters on a regular basis. This one's coming in September, and it'll be eating, you know, it would be eating something like corn by the end of next summer or something like that. So we may need to think about upping our corn game. But anyway, have some carrots. I pulled out some shredded cheese, which we are way low on. So you'll probably have a Sam's Club haul video coming here soon, because we haven't gone to Sam's since the end of the pantry challenge. So we went I think we went on February 28th. Yeah, the day the day of our anniversary. So we went on February 29th. And we're low on, so we don't make cheese yet. If you've been following us for a while, you know, we don't have a dairy cow. So cheese and butter are not something that I'm making right now. I do make soft cheese, but we don't make any hard cheese. I'm paying $5 a gallon for raw milk, which is a great price, but it's not good enough to make my own cheese and butter yet. So for now, we're still getting those things from the store. So I have that. I have 2 packs of regular bacon, and then a pack of Canadian bacon. So that'll give us a few breakfasts. Suzu is showing you the clementines. We'll talk about that in a minute. I pulled a pound of beef for chili. So again, to feed 6 people, 1 pound would typically, there is another one, would typically not be enough. But I usually really up the beans. It really makes the chili stretch. We might maybe I'll throw in some bacon. Bacon is really good in chili. I don't always do that just because bacon is kind of a delicacy. So when our hogs are ready, maybe it'll become less of a delicacy because we'll have more of our own supply of pork, but that's down the road. I pulled out 2 sticks of butter because I want to do some baking today. And then we have these 2 boxes of oranges. So there's grapefruit and there's clementines here. We had got these, so they actually come from Sam Putt, but we get them from an Amishman near where we get milk. And this is all we have left of the citrus. So the grapefruit's looking pretty good. Some of the clementines are looking a little rough. So probably what I'll do is every few days, I'll just peel 20 of them and put them in the fridge. And the kids love clementines, but obviously they struggle to peel them by themselves because they're only 2 and 4. So if they're already peeled, and even just for us, if they're already ready to go, it's just a lot easier to grab and go as a snack. So I'll work on peeling these. We'll just keep these in the fridge. So it's not that I'm necessarily anti-meal plan. I've tried to meal plan. I've tried all the fancy little papers, and we've tried writing it on the board and things like that. And it just doesn't work. Our days are so different depending on what's happening with animals or the garden or orders or do we need to go somewhere or whatever, which I've talked about this before. We pretty much only, we go get milk every 2 weeks. And then besides getting milk, we try to combine our trips. We drive 2 diesel trucks. And so it's not cheap to do, an hour round trip to go get milk. So when we go get milk, we'll combine it with the hardware store, or if we need to stop, there's a little Amish store in town, where we'll get the gallons of maple syrup. So if we're out of that, we'll stop for that or whatever. When we do this Sam's trip, we'll probably hit Rural King while we're up there and see if there's anything that we need there, anything on our animal list that we might need. It just isn't worth it for us to make all these multiple trips. Zad and Bud will go, and Matt. So Zad and Bud will go to the firehouse. Bud and Matt might go to yoga, things like that. But on the whole, we really try to combine our trips. So it's just nice to have these things thawed and ready because chili, I can throw together in the morning and it can sit in the Instant Pot and it's ready to go. I don't have to think about it at all. Yeah. Those blade roasts that I pulled out, those we can either throw on the Blackstone, we can throw them in the air fryer, Zad can do them in a couple cast iron skillets in the oven, anything like that. Those can all get thrown together really fast. We keep a lot of, I don't want to call them convenience things on the shelf, but for instance, we have canned shredded cabbage. So I could throw together coleslaw very quickly. Things like the frozen corn, there has to be a little bit of thinking ahead because it's a block of corn. So you're not just going to pull it out and magically have a side of corn, and we do have some canned corn on the shelf, so we can use that. It's not our preferred. We really prefer the frozen. We just feel like it tastes better. So anyway, I just encourage you, if you've been struggling with meal planning, if it's just not really been working for you, you feel like every week you make this lovely plan and then it never comes together, that there is another way that you can make it work. If you keep processes going in your kitchen, so if you always have your meat tray filled, you always have your fruit and veggie tray filled with the frozen stuff, you always have some bread ready to go. Maybe you have some sort of breakfast bread, I'm going to probably make pumpkin muffins or whatever. You have, and we don't have a constant flow of those things. Typically, by Thursday, Friday, the bread situation's getting a little slim. And so whatever, we don't need to eat bread every single day. It's not a necessary part of our diet. So I hope that this encourages you. If you have any questions about this, let me know. We'll see you next time.